Oh, okay. At least you're using your time productively. What do you do?
I have I have a health and fitness business
Mm-hmm.
that I do. It's an MLM. I love it. I got into it because I use the product.
Mm-hmm.
And then just recently really wanted to get aggressive with getting out of the office, getting rid of this commute. And so started doing financial planning
Mm-hmm.
and the process of getting my licensing and all of that. So I do a lot of Zoom meetings, actually, a lot of training in the car, trying to get set up with that, get contacts. I do a lot of webinars in the car about social media, trying
Mm-hmm.
to get that going. So I try and use all 24 of my hours in a day.
There you go. Hopefully you're using at least 7 for sleep.
Oh, I try and do 8.
Oh, even better. Even better.
I really try and shoot for 8. But I have kids too, so it doesn't always work out that way.
Your moms, you're quite equipped. You guys are amazing. So I
Yeah.
was just telling my brother-in-law, I don't know how my sister does it, and he's like, I don't know either. You know, they have two small kids, 2 and 3. So
Yeah, we have tweeners and then we have a toddler. So
okay.
uh,
Which financial planning company are you at?
Primerica.
Primerica. Okay, cool. Because I have a very good friend of mine here in Nashville that's doing really well with Primerica. Actually, I run a networking group with her. So I'm gonna give you. I can
Yeah,
talk. Go ahead.
it really, I I don't have an issue with network marketing. I just with health and fitness, it's very seasonal,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't really have the time to do events, put on events, host events. I try and do stuff online, but you kind of lose something in a in the health and fitness industry when you're not there in person all the time.
Right. Right.
And with Primerica, that gave me the option, using my time in the car. It just really gave me more of the option of getting out of the office, getting that home office set up where I'm there full time permanently and no longer making this commute. So I'm really excited about this next chapter. I think this is going to be phenomenal.
Awesome.
The company, great support system.
Yep.
It's kind of intimidating because it's really new here on the south side of Atlanta. The guy that is over the program here in Georgia even said, there's no office down there. There's really nothing down there. You're kind of the first one starting to reach out and branch out from that section.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little intimidating, but at the same time, it's really awesome because the possibilities are endless of everything
Absolutely.
from here and branch out. So I was really excited about that.
So how are you generating leads for the Prime America business?
Um, at this point, it's still in the startup phase, so it's
Mm-hmm.
really people I know, people I've met through network marketing for Saba, trying to, some of them friends, family. I'm trying to get more into using LinkedIn
Mm-hmm.
to generate some leads. I'm really, really new to LinkedIn. Like social media was, definitely where I thought it was at.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Facebook and Instagram are great for, showing before and after photos. When you're trying to get into financial planning, I really need more of the working everyday family. And so I'm trying to kind of maneuver over to LinkedIn to generate leads. And like I said, and when I say in the startup phase, we're talking like 2 to 3 weeks in.
Sweet. So that's perfect because you don't have any bad habits yet.
Exactly. And that was my, when I told my husband, he's like, well, you've been running a business online with Sal, and I was like, no, no, no. With this one, I want it done right. I don't want any shortcuts, any sidetracks. I really want to make sure that this starts fabulous. So it really builds and promotes um, some success. Um, so I'm really trying to focus more of my energy on that and making sure that I do it right. As you said, I have no bad habits yet. I'm keeping leads open and just looking into different coaches. I'm very well aware of the benefits of having a going.
Hmm.
That I'm trying to work full time. I have another business. Obviously, nothing's generating income at this
Right, right.
time. So I'm having that financial guilt of, do I put money into this?
Hmm.
There is no guaranteed return when you start a business, and I get that. But just trying to keep the cost of startup as low as possible would make it as successful as possible.
So
But
let me help you with some tips. Just for what I've helped Maggie with in her Prime America business. You're new, so let me ask you this: how much time during the day do you have to? Do you do a lot of one-on-ones?
I try and do a lot of one-on-ones. I just completed my first the other day, which was a friend of ours, and I try and get FaceTime, get out there. I think the hardest part is getting my confidence up with this because I'm not licensed and I'm still having to kind of work under someone else's umbrella.
Hmm.
It's like I know a lot of people, but I know a lot of moms.
Right.
Selling them weight loss, energy, things like that, I can do that all day long. But getting the confidence to go up and say, hey, what's your financial situation? Let's take a look at getting out of debt. Let's take a look at your life insurance policies. Let's take a look at that. Get it. I need to find the confidence I had in my health and fitness business and kind of promote it toward this because um, and I've already had some recruits, which is nice. But like
Hmm.
I said, it's something that I knew from the health and fitness business that have kind of brought me over. So that's really where I really need to start focusing my attention is making sure that I'm, getting those one-on-ones in. Like I said, I did one earlier this week. It went really well. Um, but again, there wasn't a sale. And I picked um, an interesting candidate. He's very financially savvy. So, he wasn't really interested.
So
But,
let me stop here for a second, Brandy. So here's the thing about it. You just mentioned something to me that's very important, and I noticed you mentioned there wasn't a sale, right?
uh,
So to me, that's where a lot of the pressure comes in when it comes to prospecting and sharing a new business or sharing any business, is that we are so focused on the outcome of the sale. Not having the sale leads us to feeling disappointed, right? The
right.
way I like to position it when I talk to people, I never focus on the sale because I know that's what I have a service, I have something to offer, but I never focus on the sale. I just focus on how I can help. I'll make my offer, and if the sale doesn't come through, I don't let it affect me emotionally because my view of it is that's just the start of our relationship. You know, it may not be the sale today, but you're gonna stay in contact with him, in a very passive way. For me, it says a couple ways I recommend it. Anyone I've gotten in contact with, I recommend my clients is right off the bat, you try to find them on social media and you friend them and you like them, and they know who you are. They're more likely gonna reciprocate and accept your friend request on Facebook or your connection on LinkedIn. And then on LinkedIn, one of the cool things about LinkedIn is that you can use the CRM that they have built in there and set up a reminder for every 2 weeks or every month. You just look at his profile, see what he's up to, and leave a comment just to stay relevant because you don't know what's going to happen 6 months from now. 6 months from now in his life, and
That's
so
I
that.
know.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So that's the first way I always position sales like that. One what we've done on LinkedIn is pretty simple. It's just create a nice profile and details and position your profile in in the angle you'd like to go. Position your profile as a business owner. I would take off any previous jobs I've had. Because then you're not using it for to find a job, but you're using it to position yourself as a leader, as a business owner. If the jobs you had is in the financial space, will be perfect. But what Maggie has done is reach out to people, like connect with local people through other friends, and just connect with them and send them a message. And she'd basically say, "Hey, I noticed you're in Nashville too, like I am. I would love to sit down and have coffee." I don't know if it's a Nashville thing, but that line about 40 times a week she sends that out, and her calendar is booked. She has about five one-on-ones every day, just from that line on LinkedIn because people want to connect with local people, especially when your bio is not very salesy and you seem to be a genuine person. And then that's where when she shows up to these one-on-ones, she do the quick introduction, and everyone gets the presentation. Everyone gets, I call it gets the circles drawn. You know, so that's one quick way of doing it because there's a lot of people just want to connect. What a lot of people do wrong on LinkedIn is that they connect with someone and then they don't follow up with them, or they connect with people who don't even live anywhere close to where they're living. The other thing, they connect with people in an industry that they know nothing about. So if you're in the health and wellness industry, connect with those kind of people because right off the bat, you can break you have some rapport because you have health and wellness in common. Now you're taking it to the next level. Well, we have health and wellness in common. I love health and wellness, but what is it about being healthy but not being financially secure? And you can easily transition that conversation into where the direction you want to go. So to me, it's just a matter of finding the right people that you can build quick rapport with and having those conversations, having those one-on-one conversations with them.
Okay.
Um,
Let me ask you, do you seek people out, like perhaps search for people with your specific tags or in your local area and then request a connection from them? And I try not to make my LinkedIn real sales pitchy. I'm not trying to sell anything on LinkedIn. I'm seriously just looking for contacts with leads for people on LinkedIn. That's the only purpose of having that account. I'm not, there's not going to be any links to a website or anything like that. Um, so, do you do the approach of let them come to you, or do you seek them out and try and network with them first?
I seek them out. I recommend seeking them out. And you're right, with your LinkedIn profile, it should not be set up in a salesy way because people don't want to be pitched. And no one is on social media, no matter which social media platform, no one wants to be sold on social media. People are looking either to be entertained, to be educated, or just to make connections. So you want to do one of those things. You may have heard that before on LinkedIn. Most people are looking to make meaningful connections. So I go to the search feature and I search, and you can put in whatever search term you want. Like I just went in and just put in personal trainer, and I see some personal trainers in the results pop up that are my second connections. What I would do is quickly go and see who I'm connected with that know them, right?
Okay.
And then when I send them the connection request, when I send them the connection request, I send them a little message too, just saying, hey, I know Gary. It's good to meet you. I'd love to connect with you. Me and Gary are friends for years. I see we have him in common, and you just draw that quick link.
Okay.
And when you go to send a connection request too, I always choose friend because they give you the option of colleague, classmate. I think business. We've done business together. I'd always choose friend, and then I customize that message. Of course, customizing the message takes some effort, and I think a lot of people don't want to put in that effort, but it takes you a basic minute or less. Just this quick thing. Hey, I noticed you're in Atlanta too, and we both know Gary. I would love to connect here. And as soon as they accept your connection request, now you go back and you send them a message in their mail. Thanks to the request. I would love to sit down and have coffee and just to get to know you.
Yeah, that's a fabulous idea.
And it's a simple step. Yes, you're gonna get some rejection from it, but who cares?
I'm used to being told no. I don't have an issue with no.
Uh-huh.
I, I just, like I said, I really want to build this one right because I think the potential is just, I don't really think there's an end game. I think the limit is endless
Hmm.
on this company. And so I just want to make sure that it's done right. I don't want it to be too pitchy. I run into this a lot on Facebook when I throw something out, and it's like, oh, is this a common thing? Do I have to buy something? No. Don't buy, just, an update. And so I don't really want I don't really want that to come across, but I love that idea of sending a message because it's so personal. I have to be honest, I see coach services come through all the time, and I think you're the only one that has ever sent me a message, and it really made me pay attention to that because I'm used to getting the requests all day long. Email, on Twitter, on the follow request, this and that.
One of the things I'm big on building relationships. My thing is about building relationships that lead to leads that lead to sales. I'm as I mentioned before, I'm a firm believer. Every call is not a sales call. To me, every call is a relationship building call, and sooner or later, people are going to see the value you offer and see if you can help them. And it's going to be a natural transition into sales. And that's how I approach things. I get on these calls. I try to do about 10 to 15 a week, and just have fun, just sharing information with people, giving you. My whole goal is to give you a few tips that would put you in a direction to help you get that result you're looking for.
Yeah, and that's fabulous. And that's an excellent point. And I think a lot of times we get hung up when we make a connection. We want to make a sale right away.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of taking the time to build that relationship and let it grow. I mean, nothing that's good is built overnight. It takes time. And
Uh, mm-hmm.
it's funny that I just had like a light bulb moment because I tell my clients that all the time. You didn't gain this weight in one night. You're not going to lose it in one night. Right?
Absolutely.
You don't get a sale in one day. You have to take the time to build a relationship. That really is a light bulb moment for me because I do very much. I'm like, oh, I'm just not connecting with anyone. The page isn't growing as fast as I wanted or I projected, and
So,
I don't.
the other way that I find building these connections and relationships a little easier is trying to be a resource. So since moving, I've been living in Nashville for about a year and a half now, and since moving here, I've met over 500 people in person because I'm a big networker. I love getting out there and meeting people. Although I'm an online marketer, people always laugh at me. I'm an online marketer who loves offline because I love real people. You know, I don't
I
hide.
I have to laugh at that because that's amazing. I don't think I've seen 500 different people, and I don't know how. I mean, that's a phenomenal number.
I When I first got here the first year, I used to go to about six networking events a week and just meet people. And when I say meet, I wouldn't take your card if I'm not going to follow up. But what I've learned during that process is how I build quicker relationships is being of service. Because if I meet someone and they're mentioning during our conversation, well, you know what, I'm looking to lose some weight, and I know Brandy, it's hey, you know what, remind me at the end of the conversation, I know someone that could help you. And I would be more I pass on that information and give them that card or send them that email with the introduction.
And you build rapport.
And I build rapport and I show that I people remember you now because Colin hooked me up with this person or Colin introduced me to this person. Another thing I do a lot is invite people to new networking events. Like if I'm at a networking event and we're talking and say this is the first time they're going to one, if you know what, I'm going to something tomorrow morning or on Thursday, whatever it is, come along and be my guest. You'll know someone there, so it's going to be a lot easier for you. And to me, I find those as great icebreakers and a great way to build trust with prospects and people that I'm eventually going to do business with because now you're inviting them out to help them with what they're looking to do, makes you a little bit more trustworthy and a little bit more. They look at you a little different when you do things like that.
Yeah, because you're not trying to sell them right off the bat. So they're not putting up their wall because no, they're just listening to what you have to say.
Absolutely. And the thing about it is a three-step process. The last thing for networking I do, I call a three-step process. I meet someone at a networking event. I never pitch anything. I just connect, tell a few stories, have a good time. I follow up. And follow up, and then I invite them out for a coffee or whatever it is, and we sit down. Panera is I always get free stuff at Panera because I'm there so often. But we have a coffee and we talk, and most times I just share what I do. Here's what I do, and let me and see how it can help you. And that is where it ends there. We kind of figure out things, and then I follow up. So it's like a four-step process, and the follow up we go a little further. Great, we talked about this. Let's sit down and talk a little bit more detail. We just had our get to know you conversation. So you kind of put them at ease, and then they'll figure out if they like you or not. With your business, I would just go straight to it. You meet them on LinkedIn, invite them out for coffee, and say, hey, this is what I do. In 15 minutes, I can give you an overview of what I do, and this is the free assessment. You guys do a free assessment, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of this, I'm just going to give you a free assessment for you to get an opportunity to see if it's something to benefit you. And that's about it. And that's what Maggie does. I always laugh at her because we always run into each other at Panera. I'm like, you're in and out of here in 20 minutes. She's like, yep, I don't mess around. You know. So the big tip for lead generation for you for this business, if you want to use LinkedIn, create a nice profile, put up a nice picture, um, be a little, share financial or fun related articles, money saving tips articles and that kind of stuff, because when LinkedIn is great for that. Purposefully connect with people that are local as possible. You know, you you want people in your same zip code, because there's nothing like connecting with someone. When you see a connection request come through and the person live in your same town, or the person lives in a part of the city that it's like always, oh wow, that's some like it's a real person, because you rarely meet people online that live in the same city, or the same town, or the same part of town that you are, right? And then make that connection. The other thing I want to mention too, think about who your niche market is. So a couple of people that can really benefit you in this, let me give you some ideas, are realtors, because realtors have the same interest that you have. They want to meet more people, and the people they meet, they want to help, but they want to help them for a longer period of time, because usually it's one interaction with a realtor. You meet them, you buy a house, the relationship is over. With a lot of realtors, they want another income. You meet someone, you buy a house, now you have an option to help them, you know, get their budget into the right place, save some money for the future. So realtors could be, maybe you figured who your target audience is.
Absolutely. And it's funny you mentioned that. That was actually why I wanted to meet with Gary and Andrea. Andrea, the call I had earlier this week for Prime America,
Hmm.
Andrea is studying and transitioning into real estate because her dad already owns a real estate firm. And
Hmm.
so Gary are getting their license. And like I told Mike, I said, you know what? I said, even if I know Gary has all his stuff together, even if Gary's not interested today, when they get their real estate business up and going, they're eventually going to come across people that need help with financial planning to get into the house, to get where they need to be. So if nothing else, I know that because you guys grew up together like brothers, he's going to always send them our way. So if nothing else, I got to practice, see if this is a legit opportunity, and he'll recommend them. And like I said, I was a little disappointed because I was hoping that with Andrea just losing her job, I was hoping she would kind of go more insurance versus real estate.
Hmm.
And when we got on the call, she was no, she's like, I'm into the real estate. I'm I'm not looking to do anything else. And I was like, you know what? That's wonderful. Let's make sure that um, we help each other out. So
That's a great way for for Andrea. Now, how I look at networking, see you had a great rapport and conversation with her. So how I look at a networking now, when I get out there and whoever I meet, I'm looking to see who can help her. Because I would want now to introduce her now to loan officers and mortgage brokers, you know. And by you keep being relevant to her, you're staying top of mind, you know.
yeah,
So that is basically, to me, that's a basic lead generation tip I would offer you, man. It just focus on LinkedIn and be deliberate about it, and reach out to people, and just if you have 5 spots, I didn't hear
I said you're a light bulb. That's
you. Hey, you know what? Stop it! You can't. Don't let my wife hear that. Um, yeah, I've been doing this thing for a long time, and I have a wide range of experience. And I always tell people what I mentioned to you before. I love the online as much as I love offline. To me, online and offline is a great combination of how to get things done, which
well.
makes it awesome. You know,
500 I see you love some offline, and I truly do appreciate your time. I value your time.
absolutely. So here's how. Let me give you a. So you have the takeaways. I've recorded it. I hope you've recorded it, but I just listen to it for the tips. So here's how you're going to really show me appreciation to value my time. You're going to implement some of the ideas we talk about, and that's it.
Say that one more time.
Yeah. So how you're going to show me you value my time is by implementing some of the ideas that we talk about,
Oh, absolutely.
and 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 that's a big takeaway right there.
Yes, and like I said, I would love to connect online. I cannot be one of the 500 people you connect with offline because I don't expect us to be in Nashville anytime soon.
You have a friend in Nashville now.
I do now. And you know what? I have friends that actually love to go to Nashville, claim it's the greatest city ever.
I wouldn't
Um,
go. I wouldn't go that far, but it's a great city.
but no, that is absolutely just a new way of thinking of it. That, it doesn't have to, just because there's not a sale doesn't mean there wasn't a connection.
Absolutely.
It was established.
Right.
Love the staying relevant to them. That's genius. If, she's in real estate or whatever she's in, maybe I know somebody that I can pass along to her, and that helps us build a stronger connection. That's
Absolutely. Yeah, and the next thing too, like if you're looking for networking events, I don't know how often you. I know your mom and you're busy, but I don't know how often you get out to networking events. To me, that is
well,
one.
but if they're not online, I don't get out a lot. And I was saying the other day, there's a live training in Duluth, and
Hmm.
I zoom in on the meetings every Thursday, and I would love to go to a live event because there's definitely a different energy with
Hmm.
a live event, and I understand that, and it's like the face to face. I love to get out to events, but I mean, send me invites, I'll pass them along, but with a toddler, I don't get out as much as I would like to.
So let me give one quick tip about that. And I'm not being a mom, so I really don't know. But one of the things I would recommend is like finding one event a week to go to, because if you go to one event a week for maybe an hour max or hour and a half, you're gonna get about 10 connections, 10 business cards. Those are your 10 follow-ups to the next week, in one event, right? So once you follow up with that, so that's an easy way of getting real world leads. Going to live events, you're personable, you're engaging, and you just say, hey, would love to connect further, and you grab 10 cards, make calls, schedule it out for the next 5 days.
Let me ask you, where do you find your networking events? Like I get invited to all the Primerica events. Those obviously I know, but I'm looking for like other networking events that aren't so much company sponsored. Where do you find those?
All right, Brandy, here's a secret weapon. Meetup.com. Meetup.com.
Meetup.com.
Yep, that's it.
Is that a dating site?
No, it's not.
That sounds like a dating site.
It does, but trust me, I put it in the comments. Hopefully, you can see the comments. But it does sound like a dating site. But Meetup.com. It's not a dating site. It's a site where groups of people with similar interests get together. Anything from salsa dancing to jogging to book clubs to whatever it is. You still with me? Think I lost you. Hi, there you go.
I hear. Yeah.
Yeah, so everything from I always tell people this story. The first event I ever went to on Meetup.com was salsa dancing, and I actually am going to send you an interview I recently did on a podcast about that. I grew my business using Meetup, and actually in Nashville here, I have a business. I can't hear you.
I said really.
Yeah,
I'm
no, no,
having
you're good. You're good.
trouble.
I I have me and Maggie have a business networking group here in Nashville with 600 people in a year and a half. Let me tell you the secret weapon to that. We don't go to networking events anymore. We go there every Thursday morning and sit down, and about 5 to 10 new people come to our group. And guess what? We introduce them to other people. We seem cool. We get their leads, and then we connect with them, and then we drive business.
Oh, you're a genius.
Stop it.
You're a
She's
genius.
gonna stop me from doing these calls.
I can't believe you're doing this for free. Like this is the greatest honor.
Hey, I this is what I love to do. So
Very, very much understand the value of your time and how much this would have cost me with anyone else. I'm well aware.
awesome.
Um, I see, like I said, I see stuff from surface all the time. And when you said free, I was like, she's lying. There's no way.
And you came on and you see I'm not lying. So I dropped a lot of nuggets on you. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna shoot you a follow up of email with my interview and with Meetup on how you can use Meetup, and we can always talk about it. To me, is a secret weapon. If you want to do it, you can do it, and leads come to you. And here's the cool thing about it: they already trust you because you're now in the room. And when the networking events start, we stand up and we talk. Hey, guys, great to be here. We want nothing from you but you to meet other cool people. And it just allows you to set yourself up as an authority, as a leader, as a giver. And now, so Maggie run the leads. She used her connections for Transamerica. I use the connection for coaching, for business coaching. So we kind of have separate interests. But that's just one of the ways to go about it. So you got to record it. You need to go through the recording, implement some things. You have my email. Shoot me an email if you have any questions. So I'm going to ask one other favor. When you get a chance and you get home, right? If you feel I've been helpful to you, I'd love for you to make a video testimonial for me. And you can do whatever you need to do. I think it's good enough the way it is. I put on a little makeup here. I had a pimple, so I put a little makeup on there. But it's a simple formula that I use. Hey, what issue you were having, or what you wanted to know? How I help you, and what was the outcome. The outcome for you is basically like a game plan, some ideas, the light bulb went on, that kind of thing. Brilliant. Absolutely, I love it. You're gonna have a great weekend. You're gonna implement some of this stuff. You're gonna have a good month. Same here. Take care. Bye bye.